The extra gear.
If you've watched the earlier clips in this chapter, you already know that your mental state affects your sport performance, and that by improving your mental skills, you can perform better at your sport. You've also seen how coaches and athletes believe that the mental game is critical to performance. So, how important do you think the mental game is to your sport? What percentage of your sport is mental? Take a moment and really think about this. What does your experience tell you about how much of your sport performance is determined by mental skills like confidence, motivation, concentration, and intensity? Once you've come up with this percentage, compare it to how much time you spend systematically practicing your mental skills. You may spend up to 10 or 20 hours a week in physical training, but how much time do you spend practicing your mental skills? If your answer to this question is little or none, don't feel bad. It's probably the answer that most athletes give. The fact that you don't practice mental skills isn't something to be ashamed of, but it is something to be curious about. Let's take a look at some reasons why athletes may neglect their mental skills training, and talk about some ways to overcome these obstacles. Some athletes have misconceptions about mental skills training. I can think of 3 major misconceptions. First, even though mental skills training has nothing to do with psychopathology, some people still think that mental skills training is only for people with mental problems. Well, this simply isn't so. Mental skills training is not about helping sick athletes. It's about making good athletes better. Secondly, some people believe that mental skills are innate, that they are something you're just born with and that can't be changed. Well, this isn't the case either. Just like with physical skills, some athletes are naturally more mentally gifted than others, but with coaching and practice, all athletes can improve their mental skills. Thirdly, some people think that mental skills training is just all hype. Well, this isn't true either. Unfortunately, this idea gets some traction because some people who call themselves mental skills coaches promise miracles, quick fixes, or say that they'll give you the mental skills secrets that the pros don't want you to know. Well, that is all hype. There's nothing secret or magical about mental skills training, and it won't give you immediate results any more than doing one hard workout will turn you into a pro athlete. There is, however, indisputable scientific evidence that clearly shows that mental skills training, when systematically practiced over time, will significantly improve your athletic performance. One of the most common reasons that athletes don't practice mental skills is that many athletes believe that they don't have time to practice them. Most athletes are so busy with their lives inside and outside of their sport that they have difficulty thinking about how they can find additional time to practice mental skills. Well, I have good news and bad news about this. The bad news is that practicing mental skills will take some additional time, at least at first. But the good news is that it may not take as much time as you think. Typically, practicing mental skills may add only about 15 to 30 minutes a few times a week during the first 2 to 4 weeks. And there's even better news. After this time, the skills that you've learned are often incorporated into your training and competitions. At this point, practicing mental skills may take little or no additional time because you're practicing your mental skills at the same time you're practicing your physical skills. Finally, probably the most common reason athletes don't practice mental skills is that they don't know what skills to practice or how to practice them. This is also probably the most common reason why athletes consult with a mental skills coach. Mental skills coaches help athletes determine their mental skills strengths and weaknesses and design individualized training programs tailored to improve their specific mental game. Most athletes have had times in their sport when they've told themselves to relax, get psyched up, concentrate, or stop focusing on a past mistake. The question, of course, is, how do you do that? Mental skills training helps athletes learn specific techniques to use at these times, so that you won't just tell yourself to relax, get psyched up, or to focus. You'll know how to do it. So what techniques do mental skills coaches use to help athletes learn these things? Well, that's the subject for the next clip.